and welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. You know, I'm blessed that I get to do what I do because of people who did what they had to do when it was important enough, which would be people in the military. With me is George Brady from Right Side Fishing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you were in the military.
Yes, I was.
So thank you for your service.
Absolutely, it was great.
Was it?
It was. I had some great experiences, as well as good and bad, as well as everything.
What branch were you in?
I was in the Army.
Okay.
I was in the Army. I first served with 375 Ranger Regiment. Later on, reclassified and was assigned to a couple different SF ODA teams that I served with overseas. And
so you got to travel.
Definitely got to travel.
Okay.
Got to see some foreign people,
Okay.
but had some great friends along the way.
Okay, so our connection is actually we both deal with the general.
Yes.
Frank.
Frank is amazing.
Okay, so Frank, if you haven't seen the video and the interviews with Frank here, Frank is a retired 3-star general in the Marines. It's like one branch of the military tougher than the other.
I think everyone tries to brag, but we're all on the same team, so
Okay.
I don't see it that way.
Okay, so you go through the military, you've learned a lot of great lessons, met a lot of great people, seen whatever you've seen,
Yes.
and you realize that while you were there and doing all this stuff, there were things that were happening to people coming home that weren't as nice as you would like to see happen.
Yes, that's exactly the case, and that's exactly kind of the case for me. I exited the military in 2011, and right away I got checked out through the VA system in West Palm, and they kind of like took me under their wing and like, you need some attention, and I had a bunch of attention, therapy, all different kinds of therapy.
Did you need all that, in your opinion?
I was having a rough go.
Okay.
I was just the typical symptoms, nightmares, just anxiety. So I ended up getting diagnosed with PTSD and TBI and
Wait, what's the T one?
the traumatic brain injury.
Okay.
So I ended up going through a bunch of different therapy. For years, I spent tons of time in the VA system with doctors and therapists, and they were great. Luckily enough, I had some great people like helping me out along the way. Midway through, a handful of years later, a friend of mine brought me out on his boat fishing, and it was just like, oh my gosh, being out in nature.
It's zen.
Yeah, it was like a life-changing thing for me. And so from that point, I was just all the time going fishing, going on drift boats, charter boats, from the beach piers, just being out in the water as much as I could. And it kind of like really changed my whole mind frame, my thinking and recovery. So I started doing that more and going to the VA less. And more it kind of flip-flopped over until I got to the point where me and my wife said, maybe we could kind of do something with this to like pursue your next point in your life.
And I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. First of all, let's take PTSD.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody gets mad at me, but it's an abused phrase. I think it was done for the military, and now every child that saw their dog pee on the carpet has PTSD.
Right.
Okay. Abused. I don't care what you say. And I'm not saying we haven't had issues. Okay, I was molested as a kid. Okay. I don't say that I have PTSD. I mean, I surely have trauma from it.
Sure.
But PTSD is reserved, in my opinion, for the military. Okay, and that's where I think it belongs. And I'm not saying other people don't have trauma.
Right.
1. 2 is there's something about fishing for people that put them in a zen. And it's not whether you catch anything all the time.
No.
Unless you're like this person who's got a fish and catch and get a bigger fish. Is something about having the rod in the water.
Yeah.
And you just being there with that calm and that peacefulness.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so you go through all that. But let's go back to coming out of the military in 2011.
Okay. Yep. 2011.
What were you... I mean, I don't get it. because now you're in the military for X amount of years,
Yeah.
and you have a plan because they make you have a plan.
Yeah.
And now you came out of the military, there's no plan, right?
Well, I came out of the Army, and I said, well, now what?
right.
Right. So now what? So I knew I was good at a couple different things. I was good at being in the Army,
okay.
and I was pretty good at working out. So me and my wife, we opened up a gym, and that's what we did for the next handful of years. And while I was going to therapy, and that was kind of my next period of life. And then 2017 or 18, we ended up selling the gym, and we went full speed on getting our nonprofit going forward.
Okay, so what is your nonprofit again?
Our nonprofit is Right Side Fishing,
Why?
and it is why? What we do, what our goal is, we're bringing other veterans out on the water, either just cruising on the water, fishing, just having that experience of being out in the ocean, out on the river, the intercoastal, in small groups, socializing, interacting, trying to like recover and be back to normal again. And it's a form of recreational therapy.
Okay, so essentially you say that because I'm starting to put some stuff together in my own mind. So being out in nature is a big part of the recovery
Absolutely.
because General Frank,
hmm
he does another one about being out in nature.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get it because those things put you in a calm, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so you start this nonprofit.
Yeah.
Tough to get started.
It was a process for us. I mean, what was free is like getting a boat, spending. Then we had to get in all the sea time, and then going through a captain's license course, getting my captain's license, applying through the Coast Guard. Everything government takes time, so that takes time. Once I get that through, then I applied with the IRS to get my 501c3. That takes time. And now we got all of our approval and everything finalized back in March. So we're relatively new. And now we're just going forward and trying to get the word out. And we've partnered with a few organizations, the VA and some other local places, and we're getting it going.
It's, I don't think people understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur, because that's really what you are.
Yeah.
Okay, and it doesn't happen as easy as people think.
No.
Okay, I have a brick and mortar, and the lights don't come on by themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, and like people say, well, you know what? I cut hair, so maybe we can barter. I can't say to FP&L, hey, Mary cuts hair for me, and I bought it. And why don't I just? You got to be able to cover your costs.
Sure.
And that's why, in your instance, fundraising is super, super important.
Very.
Okay, so I'm guessing you're doing some fundraising.
We are doing some fundraising, doing some events, and we've luckily enough we've had some very patriotic citizens helping us as well. So that's great.
So, and without promoting myself per se, I have another company called. Why can't I think of what it's called? Because that's how my mind works. Okay, so it's called Patriotic Promotions, and what we'll do is we'll connect with you,
Okay.
and like the stickers and the shirts that we do, whatever we sell, which represents you,
Mm-hmm.
we will donate money back to you guys.
That's fantastic.
Okay, and it's called United Patriots Promotion.
That's awesome.
I couldn't even think the name. It just slipped my mind. If I was fishing, it would be different.
Sure.
Okay, so did you get a boat?
Yeah, we have a boat.
What do you have?
We have a 25-foot center console. I usually take out, if we're fishing, I'll bring out like 3 to 4 people. If we're kind of cruising around, I'll bring up to 6 people comfortably.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you're out of where?
The
boat is in Stewart?
in Stewart, Sanskrit Park
Okay.
in Stewart. This is where we generally bring people out of.
Okay, so do you have a waiting list? I mean, how do you find, like, if there's someone out there
Mhm.
that's dealing with some situation, how do you vet them to see if they are the people that come on the boat?
on our website, we have a registration form, and you just fill out your information. You know, ask just some simple questions. Are you a veteran? Or are you registered with the VA? Some very simple stuff, and it goes into our database. And then as things come up, in order of people like submitting, we will reach back out and say, we have a trip coming up. Would you like to come out? And generally, we like to try to group people up with like, okay, you served in this period, or maybe like we've had a bunch of Vietnam guys. So I usually will try to get those guys all together, or maybe Iraq, Afghanistan, those guys together. You know, so they have that similar feel.
Right, and that thing to converse about.
Mm-hmm.
I did 3 hours years ago, Marine Corps Appreciation Day.
Mm.
So I did 1 hour of Korea, 1 hour of Vietnam, and 1 hour, I forgot what the other, I guess somewhere in the Middle East. And like in the Korean War, people went and volunteered.
Mm-hmm.
And when they came back as heroes.
Sure.
The Vietnam War was not like that at all.
No.
Okay? The stories that I heard
Mm-hmm.
were horrific. It would make you not be proud to be an American.
Right.
Okay? You know, you guys go out there and risk your lives
Mm-hmm.
to keep peace and to keep us with the freedoms that our country has. And I can only do what I do because of what you guys have done over the years. And that's my opinion. Okay, so how often do you do these trips?
Well, we do the trips. It solely depends on funding. So if the funding is there, we could do 3 to 4 trips per week. Currently, we've been averaging between 6 to 8 a month.
Because I'm going to guess because of fuel. Is the
Fuel,
biggest thing.
yeah. I mean, it's fuel, it's bait, it's ice, it's actually at this point still it's like getting the name out to enough people even know about our organization.
Right, and I get that. I'm going to connect you with, his name is Andy. He has a company called XGen Fishing.
Mm-hmm.
He builds custom rods. He has lures and bait and stuff. He's in Lantana.
Okay.
Okay, but he's a good connection for you to have.
Okay, great.
Okay, he did a show with me for 17 years until I moved away from there.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so we've become good friends. I used to go there and film, and we'd go buy scratch-off lottery tickets for the whole time I was there. The whole time I was there. It's so important that you make the connections that you need to make when you're in business. And when someone does a 501c3 and has to raise funds to help other people,
Mm-hmm.
it's sometimes it's even a harder job, in my opinion. So your wife and you, that's it? That's all you do? Or is she working?
No, she works full time as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and we have a son, but yeah,
How old is your son?
my son is 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is he going to be kind of not pushed, but kind of being okay that he should go into the military when he gets older?
Yes, as far as I'm concerned, I would love it. Working into any kind of like government agency, I think is great. You have a great sense of like purpose, and it's very patriotic, I feel. So I'm not pushing him one way or the other, but I wouldn't mind.
Was your wife in the military?
No,
Okay.
she wasn't.
'Cause
She doesn't think exactly the same way as I do for my son.
Well, because I think a mom is always going to worry what's going to happen.
Sure.
Okay, but the thing is, you, as a grown-up,
Mm-hmm.
you already know what your risks are,
Yeah.
and you're willing to take them for the beliefs that you have.
Yeah.
I think that's, I missed the draft by about a year.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then our minds were being made up for us. Okay, and many other was we made the decision to go in.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if the rules of getting in have gotten any less stringent than they were back in the past, but I think that people who choose to go in have multiple reasons why they choose to go in.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that if you guys don't see how important it is okay, to have these people on your side, then you just don't get it. And it's our responsibility to make sure that when they come home, they feel home and they feel that this is their place. How do people find you? You have a website?
Yes, it's rightsidefishing.org is our website.
And a phone number?
954-604-2319.
Judge, thank you so much. And once
Thank you,
again,
sir.
thank you for all you've done. Everybody, check them out, and we'll be right back.